Coach Dave, thank you so much again for all your help and wisdom around growing our practice and showing up as a coach. For those coaches who are struggling with narrowing down their niche, they're thinking about two or three different possible niches. What advice or recommendations do you have around that process for new or maybe some coaches that are thinking about making a switch?
Yeah, there's so much there. And it is something that, again, it's not uncommon for new coaches to be wrestling with this. So if that's you, if you're watching this and that's you, know you're not alone. Um, it's really interesting how easy it is to start and say something like this. But when it boils down, it gets a little trickier. But one of the first things I like to say is when you're thinking about multiple niches, one of the things you have to remember is I like if it's okay to say this. I go back to someone I've been following for years and years and years as a marketing guru now, Donald Miller. And he has always said with his business story brand, if you confuse, you lose. And so this is something I think is really at the heart of what's going on when you're thinking about a niche, if you have more than one that you're really drawn to, and whatever your background is, if you've had experience in working in different niches and now you want to bring that to the coaching world, but you don't want to confuse your clients. And if you have multiple niches, it's really hard to create a marketing message that's going to connect with them because they're going to be confused as to whether they are your ideal client or not. And so it's really important to stop and think about that dynamic. If you're casting a net fishing and you cast it out into open waters willy-nilly, you don't know what you're going to catch. But instead, if you research and say, wait, I'm looking to catch a specific fish that likes to hang out near the shore, they like to be active in the early morning hours, and they've got specific behaviors, they've got specific ways that they are going to be looking to navigate their day. I want to fish in that area. I need a very focused, specific strategy to be able to go after that type of fish. And so if you think about that with coaching and niching, it's going to be really hard to get your ideal clients if you've got multiple ideal clients because the messaging you're using, your website, your any social media posts you're making, anything you're doing marketing wise, it's going to be really difficult for you to connect with them in the same way if you're trying to send multiple messages on multiple different niches out at the same time. So you want to really get super clear. And the best way to do that I found is start at least with this. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You are typically your ideal client. And I have found most coaches are going to be picking a niche that is relevant to their own story, their own personal experience. It's going to come out of that. It's born out of that, flows from that. And so when you look in the mirror and you think about what matters to you, you think about your story, experiences you've had, things that matter, even what you're passionate about to some degree. Passion isn't everything, right? You don't have to be passionate about a particular niche to have a viable business if there's a viable business proposition there. But for most coaches, here's the other piece of this. You want to be doing something that's life-giving, right? So when you think about it, where do you want to be 2 years from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Do you want to be doing something that you really enjoy? You want to be picking a niche that's something that you're going to be able to sustain your interest and your energy behind. And generally speaking, that's going to come from something that really resonates for you personally. So look in the mirror. What is it that you are interested in? What do you value? What do you feel is a problem in the world for a particular group of people that you want to help solve? And you'd be willing to do it for free. That's another little nugget to find a niche that really fits is if this is something that you're like, you know what, I could talk about this for hours and I'd do it for free because I love it so much, you're probably on the right track. So I think that's an important thing to think about. What is it that you really care about, you're passionate about, you have experience with, you have context for, it matters to you? That's going to sustain your energy as an entrepreneur to be able to build a business around that and do all the work of the marketing to get the clients and then really show up powerfully for them in that niche. So those are some initial things. I think also um, when you have more than one, every now and then I've had students in the CCPs here at CTA who will say, I hear you, Dave, but I've got two, and I could go either way, and I just don't know which one to do. And honestly, at that point, it might be a coin toss. You just got to pick one. And just to stop and think about, all right, if I had to pick one today, and somebody was giving you an ultimatum, and you had to make a choice, right? Which one would rise to the top? Which one could you say, all right, well, there's this factor and that factor, but if I just had to make a choice, I'm probably leaning a little bit that way, but there's pros and cons both ways. Just pick one. I think for new coaches, you just got to go with something. At least for coaches who are even in the going through a CCP and they're getting their certification, just pick one. Go with it, learn from it. But here's the other benefit of that. When you pick one, you can't lose because you're going to get such valuable information. Think about a ship at port. How do you get that ship out to sea and sailing, right? You got to get action. You've got to get it moving. It might need a tugboat, it might need something to help it get out there, but you can't steer that ship in a different way until it's moving. So just get moving. Just take action. Go with one, pick one, and go with it. And you'll find out real quick this doesn't feel right. Okay, now you can pivot. You've not really lost anything. You've gained. That's real market research by just taking action, going for it, giving it, take it for a test drive, and then you'll know, all right, I'm taking the training wheels off and I'm ready to go. Or nope, I'm parking that thing back in the garage, going back to the drawing board. I'm going to try the other niche. This is just not going to work. Sometimes you just don't know until you go for it. So look in the mirror. What is it that's really life-giving and energizing for you that you really care about? There's value there. It connects with your personal story. That's going to be sustainable, but also really look at that dynamic of, from a marketing perspective, I've got to be clear on one. I can't do both. Just pick one, go with it, take some action, and learn from it. Find out what you're getting feedback from clients you might work with or different leads, different things like that, and test it out in your market research and your target market, and see what other people say even. But just go for it and course correct if you need to.
Amazing, wonderful advice. I know there are a lot of people out there that are going to feel more courageous in moving towards the niche that I think they probably in their secret heart know is the niche that they want to work towards. So wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your insights and joining us, and hope that anyone else listening to this program can join us on the Co-Creative Coaches office hours in the graduate community. So thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. Great to be with you.